Yes, so good evening, people. This is Real Talk Live, and the topic for this evening, tonight, whenever you're looking at it, is about interracial relationship. So, are you for it or against it? And we know it have plenty different races, right? So, what is the mix you're having? Yes, so for it or against it, let us know. Drop it in the comment section. Right, so we gonna so that audio soul as we came on live, it will be done via Smexy page. It's all about the ladies. So we'll be having a ladies night on a Saturday. Coming soon, January 1st, 2022. We're starting off hot with all the Smexy ladies. Remember, it's woman with stars and class. Yes, so it will be very nice. hmm Yes, Smexy. So we're waiting for Candy Barbara to jump out in the morning with us one of these days. Yes. So on the inside we have Verena, we have Candy, Barbara, and Abby will be back with us shortly. And well, you all know how lioness do it. He just be in, out, and about. So, Candy, since you're always the new person on the inside, are you are you for or against interracial relationships?
Hmm.
Yeah.
Look, and
Douglas the nation.
that's right. That's right.
All
Dollarize
halfway
it,
stand
mix
up.
it up, mix it up. I am for interracial
Yeah.
relationship. No
Interesting.
issues with that.
Interesting. Four against my Farida. We are chicken. Oh, yeah. Huh. What really going on here, man?
Well,
Hmm.
What really going on?
I for that, you know.
You for what?
I
You for?
inter interrela interracial
Interracial.
All
relationship.
relationship.
How about interrelationship?
So
What is that?
you for the black, the white, the indifferent. You for black and
Yes,
white. You
man,
for
inclusion and
ebony,
diversity. I
ebony and
believe in that.
ivory.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You for
Yes.
Douglas the nation. Abby,
Mm-hmm.
look Abby on there.
Mix it up.
Hi
Look
guys.
Abby, what's your view? What is your view? Abby, the center stage here.
Ah, let me see. I have mixed feelings about it
You're
due
hungry?
to seeing other people,
You're hungry, Jaden?
experiencing other people situations. I haven't personally experienced it. I could have tried, but I'm too scared. It can get pretty nasty over here when it comes to that.
Right.
So
That's still on the
yeah,
towel.
I wouldn't say I'm not for it, but I'm not gonna 100% say that I am for it. You know what I mean? I'm on the fence
Right, right,
with that at the minute.
It's kind of
right,
conditional depending on where you are.
Yeah, exactly. Yes.
right. So we have Helen on the inside. Good afternoon. So Helen, let
I
us know, are
Helen.
you for or against interracial relationship? Well, I cannot say that I'm against it because all down the line before you're born, there's a mix somewhere, you know, and there were mixes. Because my great grandmother was an Indian. You wouldn't see it in me, but she definitely was. Yeah. So I mean, as Abby said, well, in some countries or it might be, challenging to actually have an interracial relationship. And even here in Trinidad, it still have some persons have problems with it. But we know that is changing now. I don't know if you all remember when it is they say do a challenge, Douglas the Nation. That was just, I think, last year. It had this challenge going around and everybody posting their picture with the Douglas the Nation because of all the racism and the racist remarks and all of that. So they were saying, here what the younger generation was like, here what we really need to get over this and just regularize the whole population. Now, some persons, they prefer, as we know, to be with their own kind. They wouldn't have a problem with somebody else in an interracial relationship, you know. It just may not be their personal choice. So, Verena is already married. So, Verena, you ever had a boyfriend of another race?
No, I
Like,
actually have not, and that is probably because nobody ever really crossed my path or seemed to be interested in me from a different race, or at least they
right,
have not come to me. You know, they have not
right.
come to me, so I don't know. So yeah, but
But were you ever attracted to
so my
someone of a
husband
different
would,
race?
so I come into that. So he would ask me if I would ever date an East Indian guy, right? So I was like, yeah,
Right.
but I have a certain type, right? And if they don't fit that type,
Oh,
then I will not really be interested in them from a physical standpoint, which is the first point before you actually get to know the person, right?
right.
So
So
you know,
what kind?
I say,
Let us say this
Yes, Colin.
criteria.
so I have found myself attracted to East Indian males that go to the gym and have their body fit and they have muscles and abs and you know the legs work out and you know it's not looking scrawny and you know so that is it right? Or even like Douglas guys who have that kind of body type or that build and they're tall,
Hmm.
yeah. Right? So I have found myself attracted
So
in
what
from a physical
have
standpoint.
have you ever been? So we have East Indian, we have Chinese, we have Syrian, and now of course I don't know what they will call the Venezuelans, but have you been attracted to any of the Venezuelan men that pass through our shores, well, our island?
Well, I'll
Same thing,
probably say
same
it
thing.
all.
A
Same thing.
specific
Same
build
thing.
and body type and height. Yeah, I will
Right.
watch it and I'll be like, okay, I feel you know something could happen. But outside of that, but I never really looked at Chinese guys,
Mm-hmm.
and because there's not really much around, and well, most of them don't really fit that tall and muscular body type. So
That is what I mean by there's not much around. They don't have much at all.
they don't
So
really
I
fit
mean,
into
what?
that grouping. So
Good evening, Sonali. So Sonali, drop in the comment section if you are for or against interracial
Una bastante
relationship,
moleste Chinese, how much at
and
all? Very easy.
and
Very easy.
say
I
if it
know
is
Shola, that's correct.
say if it is, you know, you go have a East Indian guy, a Chinese, a Syrian,
Oh my God.
and even a Venezuelan. So you'll drop it in because we're talking about the
Yeah, the
interracial, and
guys go
I
like
feel
that.
for
The
us,
guys like that section. The guys go be balling.
we
Yeah.
we focus more on the East Indians, but we
Oh,
have so many, you know, others out here.
Other
Now
races, yeah.
I know of a African woman who is actually married to a Chinese man, you know,
right.
so that you don't really find it much. But I think it's because they're in the minority group. It's not
Right.
much of them in terms of
Mm-hmm.
numbers,
Mm.
but they are here and they are persons who will be attracted to the Chinese guys. And it look very nice. If it is you go to
Very
the gym, then you will
Chinese.
find them.
Candy
You
Barbara
you
was
can't
Yeah,
there. Candy
you
Barbara
can't be
maybe.
outside the gym.
attracted the Chinese man money. Anyway,
Oh gosh, no,
Candy
but
Barbara.
here now, one more thing. You see, with East Indian guys, if we had to get in like a serious relationship where we living together, I am sorry, but I'm not living by your parents.
Well, that's a
Book and
big
moon.
But then you are looking at
No.
culture in terms of the East Indian. But then remember, not
Yeah, yeah,
all
yeah.
East Indians are Hindus.
Have yeah. No. I'm not talking about the religion. I just mean like how they pass down the mothers doing everything for the sons and the daughters doing
The
everything
culture,
for
the
the men.
culture.
No. We need to share responsibility. I am not going through that. Let's see, I reach there, I had to cook and wash
So
dishes for the whole
when they
family.
mix in, you
Abby.
see,
So,
Yeah.
so
Yes,
what
Mr.
is the
Lion,
big
you was
deal?
calling my name.
What is the big deal? What is the big deal with difference in culture if the trajectory of the persons are similar. Mm-hmm. Abby, Candy, Chica.
Nothing wrong,
Some
Lion. It's just that I don't
Some
know. I
traditions
have
are
my
not meant
preference,
to be
and I like
kept.
them cocoa brown, little caramel,
Okubong,
and they have to have that little nignog flavor. That's just
Mignog.
me.
I
McNug.
thought you just have some kind of
Mignog,
word. I mean, you
Hey,
just have some kind of word.
mignog
yeah.
flavor.
Right?
I
Some
don't know
some cultures
artificial
are just
nignog because they just do
associated
that,
with
right?
some cultures are just
What is
Yeah.
associated
mignog?
with certain races that you know.
Rastaman,
Rasta.
Ah,
Rastaman.
they got one. I tell you, we worldwide, you know. We worldwide.
uh,
Yeah. So we really know we have the activists. We have the activists of persons who are pro-African and that kind of thing, and they say that guys who have that relationship, they say it's a snowflake syndrome, and we don't like our own women, and we were bred to not like our. I mean, what all you think about that type of these type of statements that going around now, especially with the guys? I don't hear no problem when it is like it's an African woman and a white guy, but time is especially if the black guy is successful. Like what is the deal
Mm-hmm.
with that type of mentality? And should we even
I
agree with it?
I think it's a stereotype kind of thing. So they probably had
yeah
some sort of experience with a black woman, and they just stereotype all black women to be that way because they hear that black women are very loud, they ghetto, they don't know how to be classy, and it's just kind of, to me, it's just a stereotype, and it's just not the
yeah
reality.
yeah true.
Well,
Like
some
even go ahead, Abby.
oh yeah, some men they would already have the black woman, and then when they hit it big, whether with a job promotion, wherever lotto, they dash her to the side and upgrade themselves with a Latina or a white. So it don't necessarily have to be one way; it could be the other way as well. You know.
You say upgrade, Abby.
hmm
How is that
It
an
happen.
upgrade?
No, to them it's an upgrade. That's what I mean. They
Okay.
look at it as as their life get better, like financially, bigger house, better car, best thing I get a different woman. So they pick someone outside their race. So they feel like they upgraded. That's how I look at it.
Right.
hmm
Okay. Because I mean, it could upgrade if it wants, but it could upgrade with somebody within the same race. It doesn't necessarily have
mm
to. And then the thing about it is, if it says that woman was there with you all the time, helping you to get to that upgrade, is then you really
hmm
shouldn't be throwing her at the side, right? Unless
I'm
you
not
thought that
even
she
do
had.
it.
You
I'm
know,
not even
You
do
see
it.
the,
let me just jump in
the
here.
guy with the TikTok. The famous guy, the guy from where he's from again? Scotland or somewhere with Germany or somewhere. The one who doesn't say anything and he just points at
Uh-huh.
everything.
Yeah,
This
yeah,
guy
yeah.
on TikTok, right? And
Mm-hmm.
it had some photos with him with this white girl, right? But the thing
Really?
about it is where he lives, it's predominantly white. And all the time, the black girls, African women may not be attracted to him, but the white woman is. So he,
I wonder why.
I don't know, right? But now
Well,
he has the
if
money and
he's
making the
famous
dollars.
on
All of a
TikTok,
sudden, y'all are now
exactly.
attracted and vexed that he's with a white woman. Don't be vexed. Y'all want to like feeling him all the time. So let's go to
Neither did the
Sonali's comment.
whites. Neither did the
I
whites.
she Yes, she's for it. Local, foreign, white, East Indian, Syrian, Arabian, European, even from the motherland, once they meet the requirement. Which
Mm,
requirements, Sonali, which requirements
So,
do you
Nali,
need
what
them to meet?
requirements is that kill? Is it
Hold
like
I should
me?
explain that
all
you
the
don't meet any
she list.
physical. She
I
doing
could
it
point a
any,
couple
it doesn't
fingers, but
matter.
they wouldn't hit
But
the
let me say
requirement for
something
opinionated
about that
TikTok.
snowflake syndrome thing, eh? You see, to
Yeah.
me, the people who quote unquote have that snowflake syndrome are people who naturally don't like their own race. So they are like pseudo racist. You know, so I don't like it. They would openly express that they don't like African people and they are African. You know, so they would prefer to marry a white or a Caucasian or some other thing, some other race, because they just don't like their own color, their own race, right?
You
That is
know,
when they
funny
think. But I
enough.
am saying, apart from that, you could have any person you want once they meet the
Criteria.
criteria that you looking for in a person, you know, in a relationship. Once they meet that, you can meet them anywhere.
I have
You know?
found that it doesn't matter what the race is, the person a man is, men are men. At the end of the day, you know, you always hear that black men will cheat more than white men and blah blah blah. And you hear all these kind of stereotypes and all these messages out there. At the ending of the day, men are men, people are people. That's just the
Yes.
reality, right? So just how black men will cheat, white men will cheat, East Indians will cheat, Chinese will cheat, Syrians. It doesn't matter. People are people at the ending of the day.
Yeah, and that goes for the women too. So Tara, the topic
Mhm.
is interracial relationship. Are you for or against?
I don't know.
Right?
I've saw this. Sorry.
The next thing when people are choosing, you know, if this is their mixing, I remember when I was in secondary school, right? And what the girls did in the washroom is draw different sizes of penises.
Oh
And they
boy.
label African, East Indian, Chinese, Douglas, right? And they had it in
Oh
different
God!
sizes
Wait,
now.
wait, wait.
Some,
Pause. Wait. Hold on. Just
Oh
now,
boy.
yes,
just now. People, Real Talk Live on that Friday night, but Team Family on it. So, when I was in primary school,
secondary school.
or
Secondary, yes.
secondary school,
Secondary
which was all
school.
the art and craft,
That was not
The
my art and
bathroom
craft. It had
was a
some
big art
girls.
and craft.
that
We
was
know
in
that in
secondary
the we
drawing
know
and
that in the
Abstract.
washroom.
the
Yes,
government. So when the people that paint the wall and thing, what
yeah.
you mean they after a drawing penises on the wall?
It's called visual
That's what I'm
arts.
saying.
Well, that is real visual.
You know,
That's a visual.
And to come in there when I hear that is what taking place in the secondary
But that
school.
was actually, apart from the art, that was actually a conversation that took place. I remember hearing my friends and they talk about in secondary
It is
school, which race.
interrelation relationship.
Right. So we're talking about why some people may choose, just as Verena was saying, you know, Candy Barbara was
I
saying,
will
you know,
tell
they
you.
expect certain behaviors. So like some will say, you know, maybe East Indian woman may be more submissive than an African woman, or an African woman, as Candy Barbara said, maybe too loud.
Well, what I would say in my little time on this planet in relationships with different ethnic backgrounds is that the teachings passed down by the parents to the said ethnicity is different. I would attest to that.
the values
I wouldn't
and
make
the
a blanket
morals.
statement. What I'm saying is that it is true to a point in where the child has been raised to think a particular way. Remember, you are a blank slate. So what happens with some of our African parents, some of us are maybe single parent, and when you have a daughter, you try your best for her to be independent. But sometimes the mother carries over the vengeance or the anger that they have for the father and they place it on the daughter. So you would hear things in the home like, well, I don't want to tell you nothing. Right? And it has a bad connotation, reverb in her, even with male of full vibration, right? Whereas in East Indian culture, and I have seen that, you know, I have different relationships in life, and I could see that I could check how much time I had an argument with the East Indian. And it has nothing to do with the race, you know. It has to do with their conflict management. What you would get from an African, in my perspective, when passing through this life, is that when I get hot, she get hot.
Mm-hmm.
You can't
It
have,
has no truth.
you can't, you can't really have, you can't really have a discussion with some two people who hot. And when I had a disagreement with the East Indian, she would not get hot. And she would wait until I was calm, and she would wait until the time was right. That was taught to her. Carry something to eat. Don't talk about that yet. It was taught to her how to deal with a man when he's
No,
angry.
how to be submissive to a man.
Well,
Yes.
yeah, well, then that's what it is. Because then you
Or
wouldn't
else you
gain
got
wrong,
black eye.
Abby. Abby,
But then
no,
no,
it have no
I
black
will give
eye
you
in
black
that.
eye.
You
It have
you
no
get
black
hot
eye.
and
It's
Abby get hot.
Yeah, exactly my point right in. That's the point. We cannot level
No, no.
and talk about a situation if I angry
Mm.
and you angry. It's not gonna happen in work. It's not gonna happen with your peers. It's not gonna happen with your mother, your father, your sister, your brother. It don't matter who you're dealing with. They have nothing to do with relation. They have to deal with conflict management, and they are taught that way. They're taught how. Whereas our ladies, we quick to, oh God, I stop. You see how we stand up and we flare with chest. You're not going to get no ground because then I hot, you hot, and we never going and have a conversation. And we never going and resolve
No, no,
nothing. And we quarreling 10 years about the same thing. I ask plenty married
no.
people. They're having the same arguments they had when 3 years ago. Because it never
Well, it's
resolved.
a good thing I don't get hot then.
It never
I
resolved.
get hot when you're
Because
speaking.
why? Because why? Because why? Because nobody don't want to boil down.
Mm.
And that's our problem. If we want to have proper relations with our queens and our kings, we have to understand how. And most of our queens have been brought up in homes where they are taught not to.
All right, so you see, I wasn't the
All
only one
right.
who went to school seeing penises on the walls, etc. Right? So Sonali's saying, but you find that in all schools. Right on the desk, on the wall, wherever it is, you can get it in the book and all. You teach them one some trick and Tara saying, I love the the London accent, Papio. Yes. So, Sonali saying not all African women, because some of us were taught to listen first, then discuss.
That's true, you know. It have some African women are so submissive, just like the Indians. It's unbelievable.
It just
Like
depends
today,
on you growing up, on
Yeah,
what
it,
you taught you
yeah,
at home, yeah.
yeah. It all depends. It all
Some
depends.
homes are very chaotic, some homes are very calm, and you're taught how to deal with
Yeah.
conflict, and then in some places you just see the minute something happens, people walk out, and people get very aggressive, or then
Or they are passive aggressive, so
yeah.
they won't say
Yes.
nothing, but you know the behavior, the vibe they getting, you know that they're angry. So, I mean, it has so much that goes on. So yes, people will be for, people will be against mixing races, and when, of course, when they mix with the races, it comes with mixing of cultures and even religion as well, right? So some persons are very open, very, very much open to it and be like, I see what it is I want in this man or this woman, right? Because you'll find many times it will have East Indian women with African men or East Indian men with African women, and they might be like, who this person? You might be surprised. You might be seeing somebody saying, they may like this type of, race, but when it is you watch and you see them down the road, it's themselves who love off of them. You know? You might see and you judge and you're thinking, nah, this person not going down that road. Or you might think this person is pro-African or pro-East Indian or pro-Chinese or whatever. And then you see them mix. And it is a choice. If you mix, you mix. If you don't want to mix, you don't want to mix. Right? And then it have who will find that, they shouldn't mix again. So they might be with someone who is already mixed. So both individuals might be mixed. So you find, different things. And as we say, it have so many races. It's not just focusing on the East Indians alone, especially in Trinidad and Tobago. We always focus on them. So Abby, what are the choices you have over there? What are your range, your selection?
Cajillions. Because here is which part I'm section is more Indian, Muslim, Caribbean. But the further out you go, you have from all over the world. You can find them here.
Right.
Some would be very interested, in being with somebody of color. But when you look at it realistically, it wouldn't be sensible to, because they still hide, I've
They
known a
still
couple of
hide to
them.
have an interracial
Yeah,
relationship. And I think
yeah,
that's
they
all
still
because of their culture. So if it is in their
yes, it
culture,
is a
they are
culture.
told that you should not mix. Because some people, they don't believe in that mixed breed at all. They find it watering
Yeah, some
down.
don't.
Yeah. Right? So
Yeah,
they will say don't mix, don't intermingle. So
I don't know
some
if
of them will hide.
some would hide and it don't end well. It don't end well, and I don't know. I can't see myself mixing. Not for no personal reason, but just realistically, over here they're more violent, they're more stubborn, they're more when it comes to mixing, especially with the melanin. Sorry, they're more strict and they're more
Right.
aggressive and violent and stuff. So I just choose not to,
Hmm.
but I can if I want to.
You kind of have to
Right.
be prepared for the consequences of mixing, the conditions
That's the
that come
thing.
with it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Candy, I didn't get to ask you. So you ever was with anybody of a different race?
Yes, I have
Mix
been.
it up chocolate and cream.
Right, right. Yeah, well, so it was a East Indian, a Chinese, a
I
what?
think I'm in your business there.
Oh.
Team Sagittarius on this side.
I
Yeah.
did have a situation where an East Indian and I did like each other, but because of culture and race and blah blah blah, his family didn't want him to date someone outside of his
How come
race.
Indian families and grannies doesn't mind me?
So
I
we
have
actually,
never, I never get that kind of vibe with it.
well,
It's like
you,
when people say it, it's like, wait, boy, I don't know. I never East Indian food,
My
food.
mom's fine with that. I could go with the crapper down the road. She don't
yeah,
mind once he's all
yeah,
right. You know
Put
what I
up
mean?
the
That's my
yeah.
mom, but my
Abby.
preference is just sorry.
What you all think about this Prince who married a woman with color there? What is all of you? Ladies, give me shoot
I
off.
have,
It's not perfect
I
example.
have no issues with it. As I said, I did have a situation with an East Indian. His parents arranged a marriage for him, so because they didn't want him to pursue anything with someone outside of
Yeah.
his
Abby,
race.
what the Queen's stance on our prince there in Great Britain? What was the Queen's stance on this guy with this African lady? What was the vibe?
The vibe.
He got Paul. Come and talk there, come. Yeah. You know that family guy not right.
I mean, I'm not saying he don't, you know, he don't love her, but I think it's a finger in it. Give them the finger.
Yeah,
But I
yeah.
mean, from my opinion, she may identify as black, yes, but culturally she's not.
Uh-huh.
You
Well, yeah.
understand? I mean,
Cause yeah, I understand.
yeah,
Yeah. But if you feel
she
the
is.
queen
Yeah,
the feel it what if the queen vibes are she the queen
The
what
blood, the queen sin.
she
Here, what
black
I
with the
see, a
eye, yeah.
black running through
The
those
bloodline.
veins.
She's seen black. I ain't feel the queen seen anything but black at this point.
Yeah.
We
That's
also
just
not
my
saying,
opinion,
not
yeah.
saying, yeah.
Well, she's agreeing with persons hiding when they are having interracial relationships. Yeah, she says she saw two generations of that.
So what you all think is the
Wow.
reason for this not mixing the bloodlines? Where do you think this stems from? Where's the root of
They
this?
stem from a long, long, long time. One being
Long,
slavery.
long, long, long.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Because they want to keep the bloodline pure. If you
Yeah.
mix, it's tainted.
Painted with what? Better blood?
Better blood. What is that? What?
Is that
Listen,
really a thing?
No.
listen. This is me on a biological standpoint. This is me looking at an organism that cannot take a certain amount of heat. And I, as an organism, would want to become better at taking heat because I live on a planet that has heat and cold. So I would have liked to make an offspring wherever that offspring is will be able to survive in the heat or in the cold. So as opposed to improving the genome. Yeah, so when you make a child, you can improve the genome based upon who you intermingle with. So if we even going to say that we keep the bloodline pure, the
I
bloodline,
mean, that's what that's way back then, isn't it?
yeah.
And when
But I understand, I just
when
be devil's
the
advocate,
black
but I'm
man
just
was
saying from a biological standpoint, you want
Yeah.
melanin
yeah,
because melanin is going to improve the tautness of your skin, it's going to improve your longevity of your skin, it's going to improve so much in the organism.
oh, of course. I mean, I
Listen,
understand why
if I was a white man or a white woman,
the
if I was a white
caucuses.
woman, I looking to
Hmm.
get melanin. Because,
Yes,
come on, it's
I
like
agree. I
melanin,
agree because that is what they did in
yeah,
the past anyway. They look for the
yeah,
nicest queen and stuff in Africa, the
exactly.
lightest one, and mingle with them because
Yeah,
they
yeah,
needed
because you
that
want that
longevity.
intermelanin, you want that
They
biological
need it.
advantage. So
They
I think
need
we
it.
went from going from a biological advantage going into just because it's like no race is better than another race, but I mean, to say that one race is pure, that is not even a real statement.
Yeah.
We saying statements that ain't real.
Yeah.
It
Because
has
we
No,
to
I
come
mean,
definitely
from,
not pure. We are
listen,
not pure.
the purest blood it have is from when they create life in the middle of Africa when whoever was coming out of it, they're pure. Anything else? We have a mixture of all different races in us. We may be having the melanin that is an expression genetically of our African heritage. But if you want to go and really go through our genomic structure, we are all kind of French and
The native.
Hispanic. Yeah, now, come
Yeah, all
on.
kind
some
of
of them
things.
by force
Yeah.
though, not
So
willingly.
we are expressing our genetic melanin. That is the genetics expressing itself. So you hear these kind of things from some very intelligent people, but I ask myself if they're intelligent because you're looking at one minute part of a genetic expression that you could see with your eye. That is kind of dumb. I might have more Caucasian in me than somebody so because you really look at us on a you ain't doing genetic sequencing to know, all right, what you really make up. You are going solely based on the light reflecting off of me and how much carbon I am absorbing as opposed to reflecting on. That's why I tell you, you gotta believe in race. Because you already know what you're seeing. The red and the flag over my head, this reflecting everything but red. That's why we see it red. So the whole aspect of color is dumb.
For
Because
us, yes,
because
but for them, no.
so that's what I'm saying.
Yeah. Yeah.
These people, right, supposed to be educated. There was Yale and Harvard talking this rubbish. It's people who went, it's like, how can you literally base your view of a entity based upon the light bouncing off of the individual that your eyes can't even comprehend beyond the flesh? It don't make sense. Yeah. But even if I realize that, all right, my skin is darker because I absorb more carbon. Your skin is lighter because you absorb less. So obviously, I would want to create an offspring somewhere in the middle. I don't want to pass. That's like somebody trying to pass on cancer to the son or the daughter. No, you want a healthy male or a healthy female so that their genomic structure can kind of cancel out some of my mistakes in my lineage. You want to always improve.
But you see, Lion, we weren't taught those things. We were taught the lighter you are, the better you are, the more superior you are, right? Because if even you have African descent, they prefer that you are lighter skin rather than if you're nice and dark and smooth. So, you know, we are so conditioned from.
That's what I'm saying. It's a mental condition, a social conditioning. It's a social conditioning.
And you were saying that we have reached so far, and you were saying some of those barriers and conditions have been broken down, but still, it's very much still embedded in us.
We are here because of this interracial relationship. We are here because of that.
Yeah, definitely.
We exist here because of that. Yes, we want to be pro-African and pro. We're not wholly that.
But do we understand what it is to be pro-Africa?
Yeah,
Do we really understand?
Sitting here because of intermingling, you know. Regardless of our mental structure and what we believe and we want to say around people, and I want to get to look, really, we would have never been here if it didn't have that intermingling. Comment section.
Yes, so Sonali says she hate hearing that statement, keeping the bloodline pure.
Yeah,
along strips there, we all bleed red.
Yeah, those words were there because of money, just like marriage. I would always say those things in like marriage, to keep money in the families and the dukes and the duchesses, and that is what it was for. That's why the marriage deal is like that.
Yeah.
You understand? That is why, to keep the money within the families, because Abby might be a duchess of something and I might be a prince of something, and even if we don't, the marriage don't last, the contractual agreement keeps the money between the two families.
Yeah. And that's why they even married their own relatives. Sometimes cousins married cousins, and it's all about keeping the money.
You see that cousin doesn't think, but it was designed. It was designed to keep the money in the two families because it was most of the time was arranged. So it is to keep the family money together. So if me and Abby break up, the money stay within the Duchess of whoever and the Duke of whoever, and the money still stays within that parameter. It doesn't share past that, and that is with this marriage contract. So you see, people, we need to understand that Candice wouldn't be here if it didn't have mingling. Abby wouldn't be here if it didn't have mingling. Chica wouldn't be here. Somebody did mingle. If somebody, as we say in Trinidad, didn't jump the fence.
I don't know about that.
And they were mingling.
And then when the mingling happens, some people get
whether the mingling was of choice or not of choice, there was mingling. Right?
That is why your face, Abby, face looks like that. That is why Candice's bone structure looks like that. That is why we don't have the big broad nose. That is why my nose straight. It's because somebody jumped the fence.
The mingle. There was a mingling.
They were forced.
You see the shade and the different browns and the caramels and it's because somebody jumped the fence is why we had that color, that tone.
Whether they jumped the fence and they were invited over the fence or not, there was
over the fence because as Abby say and you say is that sometimes you have to hide because the condition was.
No, what Abby is saying.
Or were forced. You have to say forced.
What Abby is saying, true slavery,
Hello, the jumping fence long before. Let me jump away from the slavery for a minute. The jumping fence long before slavery,
But because we know,
when them boy from
regardless of thing,
when them boy from, it's not like Egypt is not part of Africa, but when them boy from Zimbabwe and Kush and they go across into Egypt to carry books, it had thing happening with the Egyptians. Right, it had thing happening, and that's how China come across, and it had these slant eye brown skin girls. right? The reason why you get that uniqueness in you is because somewhere down the line it had before slavery,
Mixing.
before
The San
the
people had shiny
Nubians and them
eyes.
went down the Nile, all you forget,
Them have
and they
shiny
go
eyes
down the Nile
because
to
of the sun
trade,
in it.
right? And when the
So
Nubians go down the Nile to trade, and Pharaoh them young boy them see them, oh God,
Nice woman.
things happen. And but
Yeah,
then
it had
when you,
mixing long time. So like even if when I read the
long
religious
time in
book,
secret.
yeah, so
But
yeah.
remember back in them days, the punishment was severe. So you had to think about that in that kind of way as
Abby,
well.
imagine you're going up the Nile to carry silk. And you see them boy, them
Mm-hmm.
training in Egypt, them soldiers and them because they're
And you
going at
see the
it.
all the muscle that you
Mm-hmm.
wanna
Oh
see chisel
God,
out
and you're
and you
washing
get
your
them
linen
tall.
by the stone. You
Mm-hmm.
studying severe punishment and your blood hot. How much shall we?
I
Watch
would
now,
have
you're
my
talking
veil
up to wash
on
that
looking,
linen.
and that is all I could have done. I
All
would have
kind of
my
thing.
veil on looking. That is
Abby,
all.
now I telling you, you might say no, but it has plenty of them say yes. It has plenty of them going back
I
by
would definitely
Pharaoh.
say because I don't want to get
Daddy,
stoned.
here we going
Tell
on.
me.
They're going back by Pharaoh, Daddy. I want a concubine. Daddy, I royalty. I can have 12. All right, son. Go and sow your roots. You know how much? Before even slavery began, all the royalty them. They used to run back by the mother and father. You could have
Yes.
12,
King
but you
Solomon
can't
had
marry them.
conquered.
They used to tell them
Mm-hmm.
you can't marry, they could make children and whatever, but you have to marry within royalty. And that was the arrangement back in them days. That's why your eye looking so. That's why Verena forehead so. That's why Candace no shape so. Because none of we had this big broad nose across the face like this. Yeah? She got
All right.
Yes,
Mercy
people.
again.
So yeah, so we're gonna just, do a little update. The weekend is always a packed weekend. So tomorrow morning we have the morning show. We have had a lot of, things happening during the week, right? And then of course we have what you're cooking. We'll be having a special guest, Gabriel Palandi coming out with
Oh.
Congo Girl, right? And then in the evening we have the effects of COVID-19 on the family. We'll be speaking about education. So, Candy Barbara, if you could make it tomorrow, let me know for the education part.
Okay,
Yes,
I'll let you know.
5:30 p.m. Yes, so, and of course, we know on a Sunday, Sweaty Sunday, we're doing it the Smexy way. So, you're just tune into Smexy page, like and follow it so you don't miss that workout on a Sunday morning at 7 a.m. And
Yes.
new things, Abby.
What's
January
that?
1st, 2022, we having Ladies Night. Yes, ladies. It's
Yes.
just
Ladies night.
ladies discussing ladies topic. Whatever lady bacchanal,
Mm-hmm.
anything we talking about, anything that it focuses on the ladies, and it will be women empowering women, of course, because it can't always be bacchanal, right? And drama, we
Mm-hmm.
know it will have a mix because we are ladies with sass and class. The sassy, and then we have the classy, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And yes, so that day, it could dress up
Step
and
out.
Dress up.
yes, and
Oh,
step
Bring
up.
your
I'm
bottle of
shopping
wine.
this
Abby,
weekend. Yeah.
so Abby, I know that you were talking about the Halloween theme. So that will be next week Friday
Yes. Yeah.
or Saturday or something so. Right? So all
It
those who
it
feel like
could
it,
be
come out. I mean, it could be anything you want on that day. It could be anything simple. Abby said she was a
Hmm.
nurse last time.
When you say next week, what?
Friday.
next week
Next week
Friday. Well, it's
Friday.
really Sunday, but because it's the weekend. So
Yeah, it's
yeah.
the
Friday,
weekend. So
Friday. Okay.
yeah, so our own
I'm not
online.
100% if I'm dressing up. I might just do face makeup.
Yes, because we know that we see in the top right
But
people. So if they
yeah.
want to, they could send all the pictures because it's that type of weekend. Yeah. So we'll see you
Mm-hmm.
tomorrow, and but we see that the consensus is that most persons are for interracial relationships. I mean, we get past that stage where it is,
Let's mix up the thing, mix up the thing.
yeah,
Okay.
people
Let's mix
just
up the
thinking
thing.
about
Don't
this
compare it.
pure blood or breed or whatever it is.
No,
We are
exactly.
all
I
mixed
wouldn't be here
already.
if my mom or dad wasn't mingling. So
That's what it
I
Yes,
is.
we know
understand.
Thing
that.
has to happen for thing to happen.
True.
Thing
Because
has to
thing going
happen.
Exactly.
back quite to my grandparents. If my grandparents didn't mingle,
You
because my
understand?
granny is like French with
Thing.
Spanish, and my grandfather is African, but he have Arawak and Carib in him. If they didn't mingle,
Right?
then how I would have reached here?
That's
And it's
true.
thinking to all these intelligent people who believe that it have no purity in your blood really. It have no pure white person. If you sequence any
Just
white
in
person,
some
you know,
turmeric, Diane. It's a
if
clean
you
Yeah,
blood.
if
remember
you
when they did the test, they found that they have origins of African
if you
um
could
in
if
Mm-hmm.
their
you
blood.
could, yeah, every
Yeah.
race on this planet has an African signature to it. So it is.
Mm-hmm.
So
Every
even though
single
you
one of
can be
them.
white as snow, you see that's the thing. All you're looking at is what light reflects off of you, how much carbon you absorb. It have nothing to do with who you really are.
Exactly.
The
That
Eve
is hard
gene. We
part.
have the Eve gene,
Yeah.
right? So we
Yeah,
make every single culture, race, every nook and cranny, we in there. So,
yeah, we hot.
Lion.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
We hot.
we well, have
Right.
a
Look
good
and
night. Then have a
cranny.
good night. Have a good night.
We hot.
Sure, I
Goodbye.
like you get hot there, boy.
I get real hot. I get real hot. I get so
Something to
hot in
cool
my
you
body.
down.
I get
You
real
have to
hot.
get something to cool you down.
Good night.
Yeah, no problem.
I don't understand how they do. Never think about this thing. Wait, who hot? Who more hot than the women of the Caribbean? Huh? You
I
Of
don't
come
know.
go
course, nobody not hotter than me.
chica who more hot boy. I feel it had nothing
Hmm.
hotter than Caribbean women in this place. The
Hmm.
mouth hot,
Hmm.
the blood hot. I don't
Huh?
know.
Everything hot. The food they cooking in the kitchen and all hot.
The pot
Hot
hot.
and sweet.
I tried real. But how we see you guys? How we see? So I hear only have some kind of man bashing show coming up soon, eh?
Well,
Woman bashing
Man
men,
bashing, man
That's
bashing.
no.
not
Coming in,
man
well, go ahead,
bashing.
that
it's
lady.
not a man bashing show.
That
We
is
are
no, we
centered
did not
around
say
women.
that.
I hope all the strengthening men in this ladies' night, and I'll be listening in very attentively.
Well, my feelings towards men. They have to
It
Oh,
come
is
yeah.
right.
women
Have you got
only,
your feelings
Shulon. You're
towards
not
them?
invited.
I could be in the
Sorry?
backstage. I'm there.
Women only, Lion.
You
So
have to
don't play
keep
the
happy
junkie in
about
this
her
room.
views. Ole not nice. Have a good night, right? Have a good night, Ole.
Oh, I'm so city.
I got SPM, baby. I got SPM, no. I fais petit temps, baby. I got SPM, no. I got SPM, baby. I got SPM, no. I got SPM, tandis. I got SPM, no. C'est genre de femme, mais l'argent bon tout là. Toujours à checker, n'est qu'à travailler dans l'état.